Okay, so in order to do 7 factorial, what number are you going to start with? What number are you going to start with?
7.
Which one?
7.
Yeah. And then what? And then? There's like a weird... Keep going.
3, 2, and then what?
And then you stop at 1. So what goes in the middle?
Next.
Yeah, your times. So you just do that. You just grab your calculator and you type in 7 times 6 times 5. And you just basically type it in.
Okay.
And that gives you 5,040. Now, there is a button on the calculators that allows you to do the factorial right away, but you need to find it. On my calculator, I don't think that I have it, but this is, yeah, I don't think I've got it. Oh yeah, right there. Do you see the n factorial right here?
Yeah.
So I would just go 7, and then I would type that in, and there you go, 5,040.
Okay.
But you have to find that button on your calculator.
Yeah, I
Okay?
got it.
Now, there's other times where you have to simplify a bit more. Now, like number 2, you're just going to find what 9 factorial is and subtract it from 5 factorial. So the same thing that I just did, but a subtraction in the middle.
Okay.
Now, for number 3, it's a little bit different. Can you expand 9 factorial for me?
9, 7, 6.
Okay, but tell me what you do in the middle.
You would
9
5
times 8 times...
7 times 6 times 5.
Okay, now stop there, because you can stop at 5 factorial. You can stop wherever you want. The reason I'm stopping at 5 factorial is because I have a 5 factorial on the bottom.
Okay.
So I can go like this. Remember your simplifying rules?
Yeah.
So now all you need to do is take your calculator and just go 9 times 8 times 7 times 6, and that's the answer.
Oh.
So there's simplifying rules that you can follow.
Okay.
Okay? So I'll let you play around with that a little bit. I'll go to number 5 first, because 5 is a little bit harder. Okay, so n minus 1, factorial. So remember when you did 7 factorial? What number did you start with?
7.
Okay, when you did 9 factorial, what number did you start with? 9, right?
Yeah.
So when you start with n minus 1 factorial, what are you going to start with?
10.
No. So it's
Negative
7 and 7, 9 and 9. So what are you going to start with if it's n minus 1?
1.
Is it the same if I put 1?
Negative
Is that the same?
n.
Yes. Leave it in a bracket because it's 2 terms. But now we need to know what to multiply that by. So remember what you said over here? You said, okay, you start with 7, and then you subtract 1 every time, right? Well, what's n minus 1 minus 1?
N minus 2.
Yes. Oops. Sorry, I picked the wrong color there. And then what's n minus 2 minus 1?
N minus 3.
Exactly. And then you could keep going, but you can stop eventually wherever you want. It depends with your simplifying where you're going to stop. Like if you look at number 6, you're going to want to expand n factorial. How do you expand n factorial?
I'm not sure.
Well, do the other rules that you just did. So when you did 7 factorial, you started with 7, and then you did minus 1 every time. So what are you going to start with?
N minus 2.
We're going to just expand this one first.
Okay, so n
N times,
times 1.
what's n minus 1?
Negative n.
No. N minus 1 is just n minus 1. You can't put those together,
Oh, okay.
right? It's
Yeah.
not like terms if you do that, so that won't work. So you just have to rewrite it as n minus 1, which is confusing.
Yeah.
But the more you practice it, the better it'll become. So what's n minus 1 minus 1?
N minus 2.
Where do you think I'm going to stop this?
N minus 2.
Right, so I'm going to put a factorial there. Why am I stopping there?
Because you can simplify n minus 2 out on the bottom, top and bottom.
Exactly. So now you've got a multiplication with n and n minus 1, right?
Yeah.
So how do you do that? I'm just going to move it up here because I don't have much room. It's a multiplication and it's a binomial. So what's n times n?
2n?
No, n plus n is 2n, but what's n times n?
N squared?
Yes. So these are all mistakes that everybody's going to do, so I'm glad that you're allowing me to video this. And this helps out a lot of students. So we have n squared, and what's n times negative 1?
Negative 1.
Negative 1?
Negative 1 times negative 1 is negative 1.
No, negative 1 times n.
N squared negative 1 minus 1.
Not quite. So you have n squared, right? That part's okay. But what's negative 1 times n? If you look at the arrows that I did here, you did n squared, so you did that. This part right here.
Oh, okay, so it's minus 1n.
There we go. Okay? And then when you're writing this, you don't necessarily need the 1. So this is the final answer right here.
Oh, okay. It's kind of making sense.
Good. So here's a question that I get all the time. How do you know to expand n factorial and not expand n minus 2 factorial? So why did we expand the top one and not the bottom one? Well, the reason I expanded the top one is because it will eventually lead to something that I can simplify. If I simplify n minus 2 factorial, what would that give you? Like, let's just do it on the side here. What would that give you? Remember your rules of factorial. So what do you start with?
N minus 2.
Keep going.
And then it would give you n minus 3.
And like,
And then
you just keep going and you don't really know what you're going towards, right?
no.
You can't simplify that with n. So if you do try that, just erase it and try something else. Try a different strategy. Just like I said, try simplifying out n factorial instead.
Okay.
Okay, so I also put a video. Did you see it?
Yeah, I think so. The one where the guy was simplifying or...
Yeah. Did it? So now, I think if you watch it now, it might make more sense to you. So this video right here, Introduction to Factorials.
Okay.
So try watching it one more time, now that I've kind of gone through this stuff a little bit, and let's see where it takes you.